This is Newcap News with Nicole Stilger.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Some residents and businesses in the Midwest region experienced a bit of a power outage and flickering lights this afternoon. Lloydminster, Vermilion, Paradise Valley and multiple communities in between experienced short outages, with some users in Kitscoty seeing an outage lasting up to 2 hours. ATCO says the flickering lights are due to frost on the lines and they're working to resolve the situation. Well, yesterday, we shared with you a story about a woman who has lost faith in Lloydminster's ambulance services. Phyllis Hunchak told Newcap News about her recent experience with ambulances in the region when her husband suffered a heart attack, which could have allegedly cost him his life. Gina Martin reached out to Alberta Health Services and the Prairie North Health region to shed some light on the situation.
It makes you very angry because I'm an Alberta resident. And I owned a business here for 30 years. I've lived here for 37 years. And now I'm basically being forced to leave this community. And not because I want to, but because I want to save my life.
There are currently 3 ambulances in Lloydminster, with one being for advanced life support and the other 2 for basic life support. It's a joint system between Alberta Health Services and the Prairie North Health region and is operated by a private company called WPD.
So there is one paramedic, at least one paramedic on the advanced life support ambulance at all times. And so how WPD staffs or maintains staff to provide that service is up to them. But in order to be an advanced life support ambulance, that resource requires a paramedic to be on it. So there is always a paramedic on duty.
Thane wants to add that this model is implemented in all of its service areas, including here in Lloydminster. And he wants to highlight the fact that all practitioners on an ambulance, whether it's at the advanced level of care or primary level of care, are all medically trained personnel.
At the basic life support level, primary care paramedics or EMTs are able to do a number of medically trained scopes of practice skills to ensure that they're providing that high quality care. They can start IVs, they can use cardiac monitors, they can administer some medications.
But is this enough to calm citizens' nerves? Phyllis is one of several locals who has mailed out letters to elected officials and health organizations requesting more paramedics be on duty at all times. There's also been requests of having the ambulance under one contract with one service rather than split between 2. PNHR and AHS say they are happy with the current arrangement and set a high standard with their medical practices. But they add they will continue to monitor call volumes and make adjustments as necessary. Gina Martin, Newcap News.
2 Lakeland students had the opportunity to travel to Kazakhstan this fall to experience agriculture in another country. Gina Martin has more on the purpose behind this journey.
Katie Anderson and Jordan Stepanovic were joined by Lakeland instructor Jeff Brown for an Alberta delegation in Kazakhstan. Though thousands of kilometers away, the 2 countries share many similarities.
The climate is very similar. The landscape's very similar. Lots of the same grass species. Probably the biggest differences I would say between the 2 countries would just be kind of more in the line of technology and kind of where they're at.
Brown adds since the collapse of the Soviet Union, Kazakhstan's cattle population has plummeted around 68%. Because of this, a delegation was formed between Canada and Kazakhstan's governments for a few years' assistance in developing their beef industry. Both Katie and Jordan were excited to be part of this trip.
It was just extremely eye-opening. It was so much fun and it was a crazy experience. I'm super thankful that Lakeland actually sent me out there.
They have a different culture over there. They've been doing the livestock thing for thousands and thousands of years. One of their biggest brags is that they were the first people to domesticate the horse. So they have a very different mindset than a lot of producers in Canada.
Because Alberta has a similar landscape, Lakeland's role is to provide leadership on developing agriculture curriculum and possibly a farm school.
They've actually sent some guests as well back to Canada. They were coming to kind of tour Canadian ranches and get a feel for the Canadian style of production.
These guests toured Lakeland's Vermilion campus facilities to learn about technologies being used in Canada. This is the 3rd time since 2013 Lakeland has been part of a delegation that traveled to Kazakhstan. Gina Martin, Newcap News.
Well, twice a year, once a semester, Holy Rosary High School has Fitness Week, where the senior classes have a chance to try something different to keep physically active. In this week's Beyond the Classroom, we learn more about Drum Fit.
It's not your typical workout. And that's the point of Fitness Week. To show students what options are out there after they graduate.
That's our goal, is to have all of our kids be physically active and know how to be physically active once they leave school. So this kind of shows them what Lloyd has to offer.
Trying to deviate from the standard gym activities, phys ed teachers Ashley Fullerton and Becky Grassel came across this unique, high-energy, heart-pumping workout a few months ago.
We thought, oh my goodness, how do we get this? So we searched around for somebody who could do it in the area, and luckily enough, Leah, who we've had in before, has actually teaches it, so it worked out really well.
And now they're introducing Drum Fit to these students for the first time.
We always try to keep it new, try to get new things in, just to open their world up a little bit and see the options that are out there instead of doing the same old things and they think, oh, working out is boring, or this is boring, that is boring. Well, no, there's awesome stuff that they can get out there.
And bored is something no one in this room is feeling.
They're pumped up, which is what we want. We want them pumped, we want them excited, we want them to come into the gym and be ready to be physically active.
I think it's kind of weird that they have like the balls on the stands, and I was expecting like real drums, but it's really cool. I kind of get to make a fool of myself, and I enjoy that, and hopefully bring on a sweat too.
They're giggling, they're laughing, and they're having fun, so that's a good thing for us.
Beyond the Classroom is brought to you by Lakeland College. Take the lead in environmental sciences. Choose from 4 majors at the Vermilion campus, including the new Water Conservation and Management major.
Well, sitting on Santa's knee is something most of us experienced at one time or another. And at the SPCA's upcoming Paws and Claws event, some of your furrier family members can experience it too. For a $10 donation to the SPCA, pet owners around Lloydminster and Wainwright can have a photo taken with their pet with the man in the red suit.
The people that we have playing Santa are really good with pets and really calm and know how to approach them correctly and make them feel comfortable.
There will also be costumes on hand to make the photo more festive.
It's just something that's fun, it's lighthearted, and people, their pets are their family members, so they want to have something that is special with their pets.
The first photo opportunity is this Saturday from 1 to 4 at MR Pets. For more days and locations, visit the SPCA website. Well, a lot of people are familiar with the term Cowboys and Indians. Well, for almost 4 decades, a town in southwest Saskatchewan has used the phrase to promote camaraderie and fundraising. Now another community is getting in on the act. Lance Phillips has more.
It started in Maple Creek, Saskatchewan, a fundraising hockey game that for 35 years has been known as the Battle of the Little Big Puck. Now, another small Saskatchewan community has produced its own version of the Cowboys versus Indians platform, the inaugural Meridian Hockey Showdown between the Larson's Cowboys and Onion Lake Cree Nation Indians, a fundraiser for the Lloydminster and Onion Lake food banks, also falling in line with National Addictions Awareness Week.
There was a member from this community that was down there, and with the events that have been going on in the past week, they were thinking of looking at something unique. And the gentleman had suggested why not having a Cowboys and Indians hockey game here as well.
Fans really like the players that play for Onion Lake, and they support them really good. And then the team from Marwing, Larson's Cowboys, they're very good too. And the third period, I think when they dress up, it should be pretty fun.
And this is where the real magic of the game happens. During the second intermission, the teams transfer out of typical hockey attire into proper regalia and Western wear, a format that fans and players both enjoy while serving a greater purpose.
Well, bringing the two cultures together. They're neighbors and they work together and spend a lot of time together. A lot of jokes out there. Nobody got hurt. Kind of watching out for each other, and seeing all the people there having fun, laughing, the kids coming over, and it was just a good feeling all around.
It was exciting. I was pretty proud of ourselves. These are our outfits, and we made them ourselves, and we said, hey, normally a power dancer would make their own and spend hours and hours, while we only spent an hour probably making our outfits, eh?
When it was all said and done, it was the Indians that came away with the 11-8 victory. But they're not the only winners here. The Lloydminster and Onion Lake food banks are also winners. They'll provide some families with much needed nourishment right before Christmas time. And really, isn't that all that matters? Lance Phillips, Newcap, Onion Lake.
Well, the Lloyd Comp Barons senior girls volleyball team is heading to Red Deer tomorrow to compete in provincials. The girls have played in 6 tournaments this season and have taken home 3 gold medals. They're hoping their mental toughness and willingness to win will push them far in provincials.
It's the best of the best in Alberta. We've played competitive and hard all season to get there, so we're going to see some of the best teams from all over the province, and it's going to be a higher level than we've seen all season, but we are ready to go and compete.
Now, the Barons are ranked 12th out of 12 going into provincials, but they're confident they'll leave a mark.
I have 100% confidence in the girls. They're working very, very hard. We have a strong offense, we have a strong serve receive, and I think that's going to allow us to go and compete with some of these teams.
The senior girls will practice on Wednesday night. They'll play games Thursday through Saturday and potentially Sunday, depending on how they place. The boys team is also competing in provincials.